Well, it's beefy like a Les Paul. You know, it's a real big sounding guitar. And, you know, you can get kind of almost a strat tone out of it too when you back down the volume and put the toggle switch in the middle. You know, you can get kind of a close strat tone, not necessarily out of phase tone, but you can get it close to a strat tone that cleans up. I like it because it's small, it's light. You know, we travel a lot around Europe and around the United States, and the thing is like most of these airlines will say, sure, you can bring your guitar on, but you know, you never know what kind of airline you're going to get. Aircraft that you're going to get, and most of them, you know, like when you're hopping from one country to another, you can get a puddle jumper. You know, and the overhead compartments are just like only so big, you know. And what I've been experiencing carrying a regular size guitar is that, you know, you think you're going to be able to carry it on, and you can't. At the last minute, you got to hand it over. And you don't really want to hand it over because it's in a gig bag, you know. And I've heard nightmares about people breaking their headstocks and all that kind of stuff, you know Les Pauls and SGs and Gibsons especially. But you don't have to worry about breaking a headstock on the Rambler because it doesn't have a headstock. You know?
That makes sense.
And it will fit in a briefcase, it will fit in a backpack, and you know, you can carry that on no problem at all, man. You just have to get used to the way it tunes, because you know most guitar players have to reach up to, you know, and tune the headstock. You tune this from over here. You just got to get used to it, you know. Yeah, how you get used to it is by playing it. The pickups that come in are very nice. I was really surprised that they kind of remind me. They got that hotness of a burst bucker. Really fiery guitar. You almost have to back it down sometime. It'll just take off, you know, like a rocket, man. But I like it, you know. I like to just crank that from like 1 to 10 on the volume. And what I like about the volume and tone controls, you got one volume control, and you got one tone control. As with the Les Paul, you have, you know, for the 2 pickups, you got 2 volumes and 2 tones. This is a lot simpler, man. You just reach down there and go for it, you know. You know, after you play for a while, I mean, it's a little odd at first because you know you're looking down there and it's like the end of the highway, you know, and there's no really other place to put your cigarette, but there's you can't really smoke in very many nightclubs anyway anymore. So you don't have to worry about that, you know. So Russ, maybe you can put an ashtray at the end of it, you know. For me, a little customized deal. But no, you don't need that. But you know, you get used to it. The cool thing about it is that you don't have the headstock there. But once you, like I said, you got to play the guitar to get used to it. And once you get used to it by playing it, when you get back on another regular sized guitar, it's no big deal. You know, I am. Yeah, I'm going to do some tracks with it. I'm going to record a new album in January, and it'll probably be out 2012 sometime. What tracks I'm going to record with, I don't know at this point. I'm just going to kind of see how the planets line up when I get in the studio, you know. You know, I like more of the rocked up roots type blues that we do with the Rambler. However, you know, we did Changes Made, which is a slow blues and E off our 4th album called Prime for the Moon. And we did that tonight, and I was like really surprised. It was like, you know, I kind of like toned down a little bit for that song, but the Rambler was just fine for it, man. You know, and it was Benoist and I were using them together, so it was really cool. I think the slide sounds phenomenal on it. It's real easy. Playing slide on a Rambler is a lot easier than playing it on a Strat or a Spoon. And I was really surprised, like, hey man, I can dig this, you know. And its slide is big sounding on that thing, man. Big sounding on the Rambler. I dug it. I've got my gauge strings on there, by the way. I use GHS boomers. They're custom gauges. I use like a 13, 16.
So they're heavier than a normal gauge string?
Yeah. 22 plain, 34, 46, and a 58. Now, I don't tune down, I tune to A440, you know, concert pitch. So the strings, you know, the E6 string is that I have is usually bigger than the G string on the bass, you know.
Yeah, Benoist said he had switched out the strings.
So I've got humongous strings on there, and it's holding up really good. I mean, you know, it feels great. You know, the neck is holding it up, and I put my gauge strings on some Stratocasters, and it didn't work. I've had to get rid of a few Strats because it just won't hold my gauge. You know, the Rambler holds it really well, and all I got to do is just pull it out, slap it on, man, and it's just ready to go. I haven't had to break it down. You could. Let's just hope that the airlines don't get too funky where we got to do stuff like that. But I mean, the Ramblers, you know,
the size gets smaller.
Yeah. Because you know the Rambler's only about this big, man. You know, it's like you can, you know, you can fit that in your arm. You know.
Almost play it in the airplane seat.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I wonder if I get away with that because those long flights to Europe, man, when you're sitting there for 10 hours.
Oh man,
that's something, you know. You know what? I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. Let's see if flight attendants will allow me to do. You know what? Watch me. This is gonna be great. Hey man, I could write a whole album in 10 hours on the plane. You know?
There you go.
I'm gonna try that. Thanks for the ideas, man.
You're welcome.
I've got smokeless cigarettes and I've got a Rambler, so
there you go.
There you go.